strategy.
This is not the place for you to be.
So let's have fun, let's get messy. Throw on your unitard and come with me. Welcome to the Slop. Now let's get sloppy.
Yes, thank you, Will from America. Time to get sloppy again here on a Monday night, favorite night, where we get to talk about all of the nonsense in the world of Big Brother. And we are blessed once again to be joined by the great Chantelle Francis. Chantelle, how are you?
I'm excited to get sloppy. I haven't been this excited since I was really a big fan of tequila and I used to dance on bars. But so let's get sloppy in this way. It will be fun,
yes,
I'm sure.
Yes, this is not the same kind of sloppy. Here we are for the patrons of Rob Has a Podcast, ready to go to talk about everything for the Slop here tonight. Of course, got a lot of fun stuff ready to go. Talking about all of the nonsense in the world of Big Brother, some BB23, and a lot beyond the world of Big Brother 23. Chantelle, how you doing tonight?
I'm perfectly ready to dive into all the ridiculousness and just take it a little bit too far. Ready for it.
Okay. Chantelle, here we are about like the halfway point, BB23, that I think we started, first week of July. It's going to end September 29th. So we're right around the halfway point. Overall, still very bullish on the season?
Absolutely. It's definitely, in the last, we'll say 10 years, I think it's my favorite season. So it's doing really well, no matter what ends up happening. Unless maybe a Derek F wins, unless that happens, I think it's going to be really one of, like I say, a top 10 season.
Okay. Do you have a personal favorite?
I have to go with Tiffany. You know, we're in the same age bracket. I love people that want to strategize, want to be there, play the game, that are willing to talk strategy all the time. Because if I was in a house like that, that's all I would be doing. I'd be looking at everything from every single angle, and she's giving me that. And so I'm enjoy watching someone that's kind of like me play.
Give me your feeling right now on Tiffany. Do you feel like, again, we're not going to have too much strategy talk, but just what's your confidence level on Tiffany? Give me the check-in.
Okay. I mean, I love what Tiffany's been doing up until now. The only issue that I have is that she's not playing for herself. She's playing for the bigger cause, and that's getting the cookout to the final six. And in the final six, I think that she's in one of the shakiest positions moving forward. I think that she would be the first or second target out of the final six. So I don't know if she's setting herself up to win, which is kind of unfortunate because she really could win if she was playing in a season where it was kind of completely normal and they weren't having another cause to go towards. But if she kind of can figure it out, or if the people that she's aligned with right now that are not in the cookout, so like the Claire or the Derek X, if they kind of take out some of these cookout members, then I think I can see a path for her to the end and winning. But if the cookout goes to final six, I don't think she's going to win.
Chantelle, what did you think of the BB high roller room this week?
I mean, it wasn't really high roller. I do like that there was another little element of it. Like, I like that they were betting on other people and how well that they would do in the veto competition. So I liked that element of it. But it just seemed to me that they wanted to throw in another competition. So they had some footage for stuff on a Sunday. I don't know if they needed, the shuffleboard table with the mint julep, giant mint julep things to slide across to qualify to bet on someone. I was like, just let these people bet on somebody. Why do you have to make them qualify?
Chantelle, have you ever had a mint julep?
I've never had a mint julep before,
neither.
But I've had things in that that kind of mug before.
Like a Moscow Mule?
Yeah, I've used that mug, but I've never had a mint julep before.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's probably tasty.
Too minty.
Mint? You don't like mint? What about mojitos? You like minty mojitos?
I never really had them. I've had lots of other different rum drinks, but not a mojito. I don't know if I want something that's too minty. I feel like drinking mouthwash.
Do you know what I had to say? Mojitos are very delicious. I'm not a big crème de menthe kind of person. I don't like mint flavored liquor. But when I was living in Montreal, it was when the big hit of mojitos happened. And so at this restaurant that we're working at, we were making thousands of mojitos a day. So I got really good at making a very refreshing, very tasty mojito or a strawberry mojito, which is also very tasty. So when we see each other, I will make you a mojito just to see if you can actually enjoy it.
Wow. Okay. Well, Chantelle, what a world that would be in, where not only are we hanging out, we're hanging out someplace that you have access to, like top shelf liquor, where it's just like, all right, Rob, here we go.
Not
Get
even
the
top
mint in
shelf.
there. Yeah.
I can get you just like some Bacardi White and you'd be good. Actually, Bacardi Gold would probably be better, but just need some Bacardi White, a little bit of simple syrup, some lime, some mint, and some soda, and you're good to go.
Okay. All right. Well, we can dream, Chantelle. Let's talk about the week at hand here in Big Brother. And I want to start things off with I saw a commercial before Big Brother this week. And boy, it really piqued my curiosity as to what in the world is going on. And so let's go ahead and let me see if I can share this commercial with you here on the show. And I'm going to play it's 20 seconds. This is a commercial that is currently airing right now about Big Brother. And there's an interesting ending to this commercial. I want to get your take on what in the world are they talking about?
Wacky costumes.
This looks
Okay.
ridiculous.
A dicey new twist.
Makes
He
sense.
said no one ever. I'm kind of scared. And the return of a legend.
Drum roll.
Oh my God, I didn't expect that to happen.
New Big Brother, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 8, 7 Central, or stream anytime on CBS.
Chantelle, did you catch all that?
I did.
Okay. What are they talking about when they tell us about the return of a legend?
Okay, it could be one of two things. I can say what the veto competition is, correct?
Yes, you can.
So with that being OTEV, it could be returned to the legend of OTEV. We've seen other previous seasons where OTEV was kind of a rock star. We've seen when OTEV has been like other figures. So OTEV could essentially be the legend that is returning.
Well, if that's let me hear your other idea, because I'm about to lose my mind. If that's the legend we're advertising the return of this week.
Well, you know, the other one has got to be Zingbot.
Zingbot. Okay.
Or Kathy Griffin.
Yes. Okay. I don't think it's gonna be Kathy Griffin right now. But that okay. You think the Zingbot. So either way, that you think that the return of the legend is going to be a comp?
Yes, I do.
Come
I do.
on.
I mean, well, what do you think it's going to be? Dr. Will again on the balcony?
I mean,
like
bust last year. I can't imagine that that's going to be the case. I mean, who are the legends that they could even go to here? I mean, unless Dan Giesling is going to pop in. They already had Janelle on last season. Like, how
what
many
about
Big Brother legends are out there?
Mr. Spectacular?
Oof, really?
I don't know.
What is he gonna do?
I don't know. Pose like. I feel it's good because around this time is when Zingbot usually comes out. So maybe, or you know, this week is going to be OTEV. Maybe. OTEV is going to be a legend. He's going to be, maybe it's going to be a replay of a past OTEV competition.
Chantelle, how are they going on television and earnestly promoting the return of a legend and it's OTEV?
Have you ever agreed with their like marketing strategies and felt that they
this
were
is crazy?
Well, who else could it be? I can't really picture it being anybody. What if it's maybe Jessica and Cody? It says a legend, so that's just one person. Is it going to be, oh my God, Paul?
I don't think so. I mean, even if you are calling OTEV a legendary comp, then call it the return of a legendary comp. Stop it. Do not refer to OTEV as the legend returns. This is worse than the fan favorite Battle of the Block is back this season.
That's what I'm saying. Can we really trust them and their wording
No.
and like what they believe is a legend?
Okay, so be on the lookout this week for a legend that is going to return to the Big Brother house. All right. This is something that was discovered in the last couple of days, and this is very interesting. We got our new HOH this week, Kylan. He got his HOH basket, and in his HOH basket, he got some photos from a friend of his. Let me see if I can share the photo here of Kylan and his friend. And this is Kylan's friend, Tara. Chantelle, do we know anything about Kylan and Tara's relationship? They're just friends?
I have no idea about their actual relationship. So this is actually shocking to me. And I'm wondering if, they're in the casting world in LA, because Tara is a little bit more familiar than Kylan is. I'm just trying to figure out how they connect.
Yeah. So here is this woman, Tara. She wrote a letter to Kylan, and she's in a few of these different pictures that were sent. I think this is her as well. Here's with Kylan with a car and hanging out. You could see the pictures here in the HOH room. But astute Big Brother live feed observers realize that, boy, this woman seems familiar. And they recognized her from another television appearance recently. And check this out. Let's take a look at another show that I know that you are a fan of, The Bachelor. And there is what is this? The Women Tell All?
It was a bachelorette, so it would have been the Men Tell All.
Men Tell All. And
Yes.
so tell me about this guy Connor from the Bachelor this season.
Well, Connor was a favorite of Katie.
Yeah.
So Katie was the Bachelorette this season.
This is Katie that we're looking at right
here?
here?
No, that's Caitlin. She was a previous Bachelorette, and she's now acting as a co-host for this
Caitlin Bristow.
season. Correct.
Yes.
So Connor, he came out of the limo to meet Katie dressed as a cat. So I've been calling him Cat Connor this entire time. And he also plays the ukulele, and he plays, I believe, maybe the guitar as well. He plays some instruments. And so he does a lot of songs and stuff like that for Katie on this season. So he was a front runner. She really loved him in his cat costumes, and he was up there. I think it was final 6, and they were meeting up, and they ended up kissing on this meetup. It was outside of regular challenges. And what she said was, I have to let you go now. There's something, when we kissed, there was something missing. There was something that wasn't there. So in his confessional, he was like, oh my God, I can't believe that someone broke up with me because I'm a bad kisser. Am I really a bad kisser? And so that was the button of his narrative up until this point.
Okay. All right. And what did you think?
It didn't look like something I wanted to participate in.
Yes.
I didn't enjoy the kiss. Yeah, it wasn't something that I was like, ooh, I want to kiss this guy.
Okay. All right. So let's check in with the Men Tell All here. We have this YouTube clip where we're gonna see somebody that we are now familiar with.
My ex said no, I was a good kisser. It's just the connection. It's not just one person being a good kisser. Now it's about the connection.
Caitlin, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just want to say, Connor, that I watched you on the show.
Okay. Now, if you are just listening to the audio, a woman in the crowd has stood, right? This is a complete random person.
That's what we are made to believe.
Yes. Okay.
But she's mic'd up. You know what I mean?
A mic'd up random person in the audience has stood up, and she has something to say. Okay. What does she have to say?
And I just think you're absolutely adorable. And I know that you can't be a bad kisser.
Let's find out.
Oh, sorry. So she's walking down out of the audience, and now starts kissing this man. French kiss. Chantelle, that this is an old season, right? They filmed this before COVID, right?
This is like
This
last
is old
week.
season.
Like this is like a month ago that this Men Tell All
This was before
aired.
the Delta variant, right?
I don't know when the inception of the Delta variant came,
Oh my
but this was literally
God.
within the last 2 months it was filmed. So, I mean, I'm assuming that she had to, because I saw, oh my God, if I could find it, I totally forgot about this, but they did have a casting call looking for somebody to play this role.
Yes, I saw that.
And so she applied, she got the role. I'm sure she met him in his trailer beforehand, and they were like, okay, we're going to play this bit. There had to have been a meeting beforehand. And I'm 100% sure that everybody at least got COVID tested the day before for sure.
You think so? Okay.
I would assume.
Is there anything else to see here?
I mean, they do sit down and have a little bit of a chat after.
Yeah, I don't know. So this is Kylan's friend, this woman who's kissing, or not even the guy who won The Bachelor?
Exactly. So that's why I'm wondering if Kylan is from Los Angeles and like maybe they're involved in reality casting. Because when I saw her and Connor together, I was like, ooh, they're both musicians. Maybe they're trying to like make a bit for the musical show that they had a year ago. And so I was like, oh, maybe they're trying to plan out for that. But maybe she's just wants to do some reality television to boost up her music career.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have no idea how her and Kylan know each other.
You think she'll audition for the Big Blue Couch?
Maybe. Maybe she's the legend that's coming into the house.
Maybe she's the legend. She's gonna come in and then who's she gonna go for when she gets in?
I mean, it'd have to be Kylan, right? Or maybe it's Sarah Beth. Maybe there's gonna be some interesting dynamic there.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is so wild that this woman, and this is like within the last couple of months, right?
Absolutely. Like this is very recent. So I didn't even realize that woman with Kylan, I thought it was just on his Facebook. So I didn't know it was part of his head of household package. Like that's a closer friend than I was assuming that they were. Yeah. So maybe they grew up together. Or
He's having a hot girl summer.
I guess so.
She's in the HOH basket on The Bachelorette.
We're just making out, sending gifts.
Yeah. And has Kylan mentioned this person at all?
I've not heard anything about this Tara person. That's why it's just so shocking that I need to know how they're connected. I'm sure that the Reddit streams will be able to figure this out by the time we end this podcast.
I hope so. Wow.
Because I'm quite shocked myself.
Very wild. Okay. So we have the players that are in the house. Also, we always have news about the players that are outside of the house. And so it seems like that the people that have been out of the house have been connecting and doing a lot of Instagram lives. Chantelle, have you ever watched any of the Instagram lives from the players that have been evicted already?
Not recently. I've seen like little clips here and there, but I haven't really done a deep dive in any of. They're not my favorite people. My favorite people are kind of still in the house, so I have not gone down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, we have all the live feed correspondents. I feel like that we don't have enough people like watching the IG lives.
You know what? You're onto something, because it does have a lot of very interesting information that comes out of these lives. Some tea for sure usually happens.
I mean, maybe that's what we should have. Like once like the pre-jury starts, like we should have where after Taryn, like then he throws it to after it's over.
The IG watch.
Yeah, and then coming up next on the IG watch, we're gonna hear about all of the Frenchie's IG lives, and followed by Brent. And so they've been communicating on the IG. And so let me see. I'm trying to play a clip for you of this one IG live where we had Brent and we had Frenchie. And I guess they let random people come up and they let them participate in the chat. Would you be interested, Chantelle?
I'd like enjoying their chat.
Sure, if they pulled you up from Instagram.
I mean, yeah, of course I would. I think it'd be hilarious.
You have questions for them.
I'd make it on the slop. That would be amazing. What would I ask them? I'd probably ask Brent some questions about being a flight attendant, just because I've delved down that world before.
As a similar line of work, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm trying to play this this clip, and I may have to come back to this one because I am having a hard time getting this one to open. But so and then another Instagram live going on. Christian from this season, he talked about his relationship with Alyssa, and he says that he has an idea that he wants to pitch to CBS, and his idea is that he wants to basically do some sort of coverage of riding his bicycle across the country to get to the finale to be with Alyssa. What do you think? Is this a show? What do you think?
Oh, so that's what. Okay, I was always confused. It's like, what does he mean by this? So CBS is following him on his his journey to get to CBS, the lot, and meeting her after.
Yeah,
is he doing it for charity?
But with a bicycle. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Terry Fox run. It reminds me of a little bit the Terry Fox story. I mean, if he's doing it maybe for charity or something, I think it could make a little bit of sense. But I'm not sure why he has this idea and why he'd want to ride his bike so far. But
yeah,
I would watch.
Do you think Alyssa would be thrilled to see sweaty 3,000-mile Christian show up?
Not at all. I don't think that. I mean, I guess he's trying to be romantic or something. Being like, I hitchhiked my way across the country or rode my bike across the country. So I guess he's trying to look like it's a romantic gesture, but it's like, can you also just get on a plane or a train?
Yeah. What's the point? Why does he need to ride a bicycle?
I don't know. Maybe because he wants to have a GoPro on and you could see his whole perspective and you can see him narrating what's going on inside his mind as he's going there to get the girl.
Yeah. And then what adventures do you think that he would have once he gets there?
Well, that's the thing. It's he'd have a bike that he has to deal with. That's the one annoying thing about having a bike is having the bike. It's great to ride it to A to point B, but you have to lock it up. And then well, what if you want to travel somewhere? Oh shoot, I have my bike. You don't want to. You'd have to lose the bike. I think in order to be able to be
all part of the show. Should you pick up the other house guests on the way to the finale?
Maybe, but maybe if it's a tandem bike, maybe that's something I can maybe get behind. If he has another seat, a helmet for her, and they can both ride off together on the bike.
Yeah. Also, so cute for Christian to think there's going to be some sort of a finale this season that he can go to.
Maybe there will be what's this going to be in a month and a week?
Yeah, I don't think we're 6 weeks away from a live finale of Big Brother 23. Unfortunately,
we could dream.
Sadly, so Christian has also said that if America gives Alyssa $100, presumably in the next round of BB Bucks, he's going to go to the gym in a tutu. First off, is that a motivator?
I don't know who needs to see this. I don't. Was he wearing a tutu when he had to do the spinning ballerina?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe it has sort of sentimental meaning to them.
One of his championships that he won.
He won that for her, so she'll be fondly looking at him in the tutu, or he's doing it for the fans, I guess. I don't care. Do you care?
Yeah, I don't care. Sarah in the chat also. We don't care.
Exactly. We don't care.
Yeah, that's Sarah Francis. Is that a relative of yours?
No, not a relative of mine that I know of, but there are a lot of Francises. Francis with an I.
Yeah. So, Chantelle, I was able to pull up the IG live of, here's the audio of, so this is Frenchie and Brent. They got to talk about everything that's going on, and they bring up people from the audience to talk to them. They were not expecting Sarah Beth's biggest fans to show up.
Well, whatever. You know what I mean?
Why did Sarah Beth say the absolute fuck out of all of you bitches? Sarah Beth is the queen of that show. She slayed you, and she slayed Brent to the point of being absolutely demolished.
Who is this? Yeah, I thought it was Whitney.
It's Whitney.
Who is Sarah Beth's biggest stan?
I have no idea. She hasn't done anything in the game that I've seen to warrant anybody coming on and like championing for
To the
her.
point where that Sarah Beth's biggest stan is crashing Frenchie and Brent's live stream to tell them how bad they suck.
I mean, I guess back in the day, she was part of more alliances that were kind of, happening at the same time as the slaughterhouse and anything else that Frenchie had to do with. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Brett in the chat says Sarah Beth's biggest stan is Kyland.
Yeah, that's what I would think more than whomever that person is.
Okay. So there's so many of these IG lives that are going on, and everybody gets to chat and connect on these. But we have, of course, I think Travis has been involved in some. Now Whitney gets invited to some, but then also we find out that the person that shows up, another house guest that's out of the house from this season, it's none other than Christy from Big Brother 23. You remember her.
I mean, how can we not? She's everywhere now. I feel like she's almost as active as some of the players in the game right now.
Yeah, she's all over the place. Christy is on all these different Instagram lives and is really trying to make her presence known in the Big Brother community. But the question are her contributions being welcomed by her fellow house guests? Because we see that one Twitter user has started to go through and follow some of the posts that Whitney Williams is liking. Here we go. Let me give credit to the person whose Twitter thread this is from on Reddit. This is from user International Low 842 had this to say. It's from a Reddit post called Whitney liking shady tweets about Christy right after ending their Instagram live. So minutes after Instagram live, Whitney is liking shady tweets about Christy. Let me share this with you here so you can see it. Let's look at this. Okay, here we go. And all right, number one, Alex Johnson says Frenchie only charging $25 for a cameo when Christy, the girl who got cut before the season, was charging $100 and dropped it to $75. Again, these are Whitney Williams liked tweets. This tweet has 2 likes, Chantelle. One of them is from Whitney.
I mean, this is hilarious that Whitney is actually going around and like, did she search it out? Is she being like, who is this girl? And like starting to search her name on Twitter? I mean, I don't even know how she would find this tweet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know because I guess maybe she's looking at hashtag BB23 and Christy. Like, who is this person? Because it's weird. They didn't see the full cast list. Imagine like you get out of the house and it's like, hey, I was supposed to be in your season.
Do you know what? That's probably is what she did. She probably was like, who is this girl saying she's supposed to be on this season? And
is this real?
For footage of this Christy person. And that's just probably like, oh, okay. So she was actually on the season. And whatever thought she had about her, she's like, was confirmed by this tweet.
Okay. Then here's another one. Whitney then liked this one from CJ who said, Christy, I was the 17th house guest. And then we have this gif of who said that?
I mean, okay, I'd have to say it would be really disappointing if, like, I got on the show, I did all the promo, like everything about it. Whether you're a super fan or not, it would have been a really exciting thing to be so close to being in the house. And so I think that maybe she's just having a little bit of difficulty not being part of something when she really probably was like, oh my God, like, so my life is going to change. Like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Like, she probably really planned out a lot of things. And it would be really hard to just let that go and be like, okay, well, I'm just going to go back to my regular life now. So I feel for her a little bit.
Yeah. And then one more. This is another one. It's a Whitney like tweet. I imagine Christy sent a DM to each house guest once they were evicted, like, hey, I was supposed to be on your season.
That's probably the first tweet that they're all gonna get when they get out. They'll be like, "Who is this? Did you get one from Christy? Did you get one from Christy?" Yeah, I think she's gonna send one to everybody.
Then also, it's not just that Whitney is being shady towards Christy. Christy also is being a little shady on her own. Chantelle, I get what you're saying about being very excited to be potentially on the cast, but apparently Christy is not a huge fan of the person that replaced her.
What? Excuse me? Is it just because of the fact that she replaced her, or is there actually some beef that I don't know about?
So let me see. There's one tweet that was favorited from Christy where somebody said Claire should have to shave her head to replace Christy.
Brutal. Well, I have to say though that when Christy is wearing a long, like light brown haired wig, she does look similar to Claire. Like they do look similar. So maybe it was like a bone structure thing that allowed them to be replacements for each other.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Claire, there's no love lost between her and Claire. What do you think she's gonna say to Claire when she gets out?
Be like, thanks for stealing my life. I don't know. She'd probably be bitter for somebody that, she probably feels took her spot. Yeah, it was hers and then it was gone. And that would be really disappointing. I'd probably be a little bit bitter towards Claire, even though
do you
it's
think
not
that
really
she
warranted.
was mad when Claire came down off the block this week?
Do you think she even watches the show? I'm actually being serious.
Yeah, she's like, now they're in jury now. I don't have to learn anybody's new name. That got out of the house.
Yeah, I don't think she was a fan of the show beforehand. And so because like if she was, the tweets that she would be making and like saying that just that she's in the house would have been in the house, what doesn't really mean anything. Like she would be saying things more like, oh my God, I'm a super fan. Like it was my dream to be here. Like she doesn't have any of that kind of dialogue with how she's interacting, not being on the house. Cause like if that happened to me, like I would be like, people would know that it was something that I really wanted to be a part of and how disappointing it would be. So it seems more so for maybe the notoriety that she was going to gain or like, the opportunities that she was going to have after the fact is more so what she's missing as opposed to like being a super fan. So I don't think she watches the show.
Okay. Also, Christy tweeted about she responded that to somebody who tweeted, Claire, it's weird to think how this game would be if Christy didn't have COVID. She retweeted somebody who said, sometimes when Claire is in the diary room, I picture a shiny head walking around and imagine the dynamics with Christy.
I mean, I definitely have forgotten about Christy until today, so I do not.
I never forget about her.
You keep on thinking about her every time you see Claire. You're like,
she always shows up on the Slop.
Fair, okay, you can forget about her, but I definitely have forgotten about her.
I love Christy.
The fact, with some of my friends, we have a draft, and so originally on my draft, I did draft Christy, and so at one point I couldn't remove her from the draft. Like she just kept on staying on that tier maker,
and that's how all the house guests feel. You can't remove her; she's gonna stay.
You can't get rid of her. It was actually very funny. So. Maybe it's translating into the real world. It's kind of like a voodoo doll. It's like, oh, everything is happening here in my draft list is Christy in the real world as well.
Okay, Chantelle, let's talk about a story I've been dying to talk about all week long, and this involves some Big Brother alumni.
Yes.
This is a sad story, Chantelle. Okay,
I feel like it's not sad. I don't know if I can wipe this smile off my face.
This is a sad story of love gone wrong.
Okay,
of course. We're talking about one of the all-time greatest Big Brother love stories of our time, Jackson Mickey and Holly Allen, 24, Wyoming, right? They fell in love in the Big Brother 21 house. It was a storybook romance. And everybody was like, I'll tell you one thing. Big Brother 21 wasn't great, but you know what was great? Jackson and Holly found each other. And we'll tell our kids about the summer we watched. Probably the greatest love story we've ever seen.
It was the greatest love story. Okay. I mean, I remember thinking about their love story. It was like, I wanted to hear more about what happened before the feeds came on with him and Kat beforehand, because I wanted to see that dynamic, especially since Kat knew Holly. And I was wondering, like, did Holly know that something happened between Jackson and Kat before she started hooking up with Jackson? So I would have liked to see a little bit more of that dynamic, and that would make it a real, like, love story.
Okay. All right, here. Let me go ahead and let me bring in this clip that comes to us from TikTok. Chantelle, I feel like that we haven't ever done any TikTok stories from on the Slop yet.
I mean, TikToks is it's a wealth of information for sure. I'm sure tons of people have done really fun clips or put things together or make little scenes. Like,
yeah, you know, we got Tommy's dance a couple of weeks ago to Britney's rap, but that wasn't on TikTok. I think that got shared on Instagram. Okay, all right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and go over to this is a TikTok from Jackson Mickey, a big TikToker now. Verified on TikTok, even. Woo. Jackson Mickey. Don't tell Whitney, who couldn't even get it verified on Instagram. Okay. Let me see. All right, so here we go. This is from Jackson Mickey. All right, and we'll pause this along the way. Let me just refresh it and start from the start. Okay. Here we go. So there is text over this. Now, seems like a weird TikTok to do. Chantelle, maybe you know more about this than I do. So Holly Allen is like doing one of these things where she's interviewing herself, but there's a music video playing. It's not her talking.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen this particular trend, so I don't know if it's something that's going around in the TikTok world. But what TikTokers tend to do is they find either a piece of music or they find maybe a clip from, say, the Kardashians, and then they act out certain parts of it and mouth the words, lip sync the words. So it's just like a style of content that comes through TikTok.
So she says, my ex and I broke up because of religious differences. And then the other Holly Allen says, really? And then this Holly Allen says, yeah, he thought he was God. And I didn't. Oh, sick burn. And then here he is. Here he is. First off, okay. That's like a joke, like from the Golden Girls. Like it's not even like an original, like new joke. Like that's a very old joke. Like, my ex and I broke up because of a difference of religion. He thought he was God, and I didn't.
I'm thinking it has to have been a TikTok trend, and that there's like 100,000 of people doing the same thing about their boyfriends. That's the only thing that really makes sense for why she's doing this, or it's. So sometimes people will do like streams of consciousness and be like, this is my brain, this is my heart thinking. And this, like, it's just this style of using TikTok to like be funny. And so I'm feeling it has to be a trend that she's jumping on with her story and trying to be funny.
Sure. Okay. So it was humorous that I had seen that her TikTok before I saw this one, which is now Jackson's response to this TikTok. And Jackson is not going to take this lying down. Okay. Here's what Jackson has to say. He couldn't even get out of his car. So yeah, he had to immediately film this response.
I mean, at this point, I don't know. I've apologized to her privately. I don't know how many times. I've apologized publicly on my Instagram back in November, almost a year ago. We broke up over a year ago. And she has continued over the past year and a half or so to send me or to post about me, and people have sent me things that she's supposed to.
Well, in fairness, Chantelle, when you lose a guy like Jackson Mickey,
didn't he like kick her out of his house and like she like had nowhere to go? Wasn't that the story?
Homeless, I heard.
Like no matter, but she also didn't say his name. Like, right? Like, I don't remember her
Yes,
saying
I
my
did see in the
boyfriend's
comments.
Jackson.
Yeah, somebody was like, she was talking about a different ex.
Who like, why is he assuming that he's talking about her? Unless, you know,
she has dated many terrible men. Okay, you are not the only one, Jackson.
including a guy Luke from The Bachelor.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Many.
could be talking about him.
She could be talking about any of them. She has a type. Okay. All right. Back to Jackson.
Posted on TikTok, on her Instagram stories, etc., alluding to things in my life, alluding to me lying about my addiction, alluding to me owing her money, alluding to me doing X, Y, or Z.
Now, hold on. Now, that's like a non-denial of the accusation that she alluded to me cheating on her and alluded to me owing her money. And
so she did she say it, or did you just assume that she was implying that or alluded to?
Yeah.
Jackson, you sound guilty. Sorry.
Okay.
And like, I know my truth.
Yeah.
I haven't said a word in the past year and a half, but now at this point, you're going to bring my religion into it.
I can't.
What a moron. What a moron.
With him.
Yes, that's true. You know what? Fair point. When she says that we had a difference of opinion in religion, he thought he was God and I didn't. Yeah, of course. She's referring to his very devout faith.
I mean, the fact that he can't take a joke, it's like clearly, regardless if it's about him or not about him, she's not coming for his religion at all.
Yeah.
And why are you not funnier to realize that she's making fun of you, but like it's not about your religion, you know?
Yeah. She was not slamming your actual
or
worship, unless Jackson does actually believe he is God. And then he's like, hey, my faith is personal to me. I believe I am God, and that's messed up for her to criticize my faith.
Okay, if he believes that he's God, then I can assume that he should be very upset about this. But God is all loving and loves all, so that also doesn't
not
really...
this God. This is an Old Testament angry, vindictive God.
I see.
Okay. He's playing chess, not checkers. All right. Back to Jackson.
I don't believe I'm God. In fact, I've very much said the opposite. It's taken me a long time to be able to forgive myself.
So he doesn't believe he's God. Is he the devil? He believes the opposite, that he's God.
I mean, maybe he thinks that he's mortal, like he's human. So maybe the opposite of God is human.
The opposite of God is human.
Maybe. Like
for some of my things that I've done in life, some of my sins.
Yeah.
Okay, so a sinner.
The sinner. I mean, no lies detected.
I'm simply trying to be better. When I broke up with you, Holly, a year and a half ago, I was very unhappy. I was at one of the lowest points of my life, not the lowest. You don't know me at my lowest. Don't speak about me at my lowest. Don't speak about me in my faith.
I mean, it's just a joke.
but like this all from that 15-second TikTok, like this whole sermon, like what's happening, Jackson? It's okay. Like you got $500,000, and like you should be a little bit happier.
Okay.
But you and I both know the things that I've done to try and help you. You and I both know that the things you're saying aren't true, and you and I both know the things that you are doing are out of line. And
what is she doing? What is she saying? She made a joke.
She made a joke, and she didn't even specifically
say
direct it to him.
It wasn't even her words.
Like all of a sudden, like anything she says is always about you, Jackson. That kind of proves her point. Then, if she is talking about you, that you
it was a meme,
right? Oh my gosh, Jackson.
They aren't right. I would really appreciate it if you please keep my name out of your mouth. Please. Just let me go and live my life. I'm praying for you. I pray that you find peace and happiness and some sort of comfort. And I'm sorry that I've hurt you. but this is too much. You're 33 years old.
Oh, come on.
That's a dig. That's a dig. Wait,
Let me live my
so
life.
what if like
Let me
finding
go.
peace for her is
Let
to
me
do
go.
TikToks to like allow herself to heal? You know, maybe
Yeah.
this is helping her. So like, if you want peace for her, maybe that's the way that she seeks peace.
Chantelle, is he saying that you're 33 years old? Don't be on TikTok. Is he saying that TikTok is not for Holly?
I don't think he's specifically saying TikTok. I think saying like not getting over him fast enough in the way
I know
that
it's
he
not
wants
for
to be
me.
her
I'm
too.
afraid somebody's gonna say to me, Rob, come on.
You're not on it, Rob?
No, I go on there, but I don't create a lot of content.
I mean, I think you'd be great on TikTok.
I think about it. But I don't want Jackson to be like, Rob, come on.
TikTok's for everyone. No, I think that he's just giving her a low blow for the fact that she's like 8 years older than him or whatever, and he's acting more maturely in this situation than she is.
Certainly.
So I think it's a dig on her maturity with dealing with this breakup.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop. Just let me live.
Let me live.
I can.
Just let me live. I'm not perfect. I know that you want nothing to do with me. I'm not trying to be your friend. Okay? Just let me live. Thank you.
Just
How
let him
many
live.
times do you think that he practiced that?
Yeah.
Do you think that was just like one stream of consciousness, or do you think like he rehearsed it?
I don't think he's a multiple take kind of guy.
All right.
Okay. There he
Well,
is.
then I think it's better than if he didn't do multiple takes.
Yeah.
So.
That the TikTok verified Jackson Mickey will bring you more updates on this story as they come along.
I want to see if she like sends like a rap back as like a as a
Like
rebuttal. Yes. Like I want it. I do.
I knew a guy, they call him Mickey. After a while, I found out he was
Had a little.
Oh, that was not the direction.
I mean, that would be a dig that
yeah.
I could see him getting upset about.
Hey, let me live. Let
Right?
me live. Let me go. Let me go, Holly.
Do you
Stop.
think he'd be more
Put the
mad if
mic
she said
down.
that?
Stop rapping. No more. Don't rhyme my name. My mama gave me this name. It was not for rapping. Just keep my name out of your mouth. Come on.
Oh yeah, it would be amazing if they just started to have like a rap battle beef. That would be excellent.
Yes. Is this a long con for X on the Beach? What do you think, Chantelle?
Ooh, I thought you were gonna go with the challenge X's.
Oh, is that a season?
They have done, I believe, 3 Battle of the X's, and so people that have, dated or canoodled, like one night stand, like what the requirements for being an X on these reality shows. I can definitely see them because I believe that Jackson really wanted to be on the challenge, and I think because of how he acted on 21, I think that they're kind of like maybe you have to wait a little before we bring you on.
Nobody wants to see you.
No, but he definitely really wants to go on the challenge. So I could see X's between the two of them.
Oh, remember on the house that he was talking about it? He wanted to go on the challenge, and then Holly got mad.
Yeah,
yeah.
So like this would be like a full circle. Like imagine kind of like Mike Mallon and Will Styles, where like he can go on The Amazing Race, but Will wouldn't go with him, right? So maybe this will be like, okay, like you can come on the challenge, but it's an X's season. You're gonna have to go with Holly, and so he has to like beg Holly to come on the challenge with him.
Laureen in the chat says she can't get his name out of her mouth. Her dog's name is Jackson. Change the dog's name. Name the dog Mickey.
Yeah, like they see videos of her with Jackson, and she's like, he keeps calling my name. Like she's so obsessed with me. And it's
Stop talking about me. Just stop. Let me live. Also, Jade Carroll says that did you guys know that Alyssa is friends with the Siesta Key gang and Nick Macaroni?
No, I've seen one episode of Siesta Key, so I don't know I've only seen one episode of the first season, so I don't really know about that. But Nick Macaroni, or like the Nick from season 21?
Yes, Nick from that season.
Because it's not Mac. That's not his
That's
actual
what we
name.
just call
yeah,
him
just
Nick
making
Macaroni.
sure that like I'm just not buying into it. I'm like, wasn't it something else? Okay, good. Yes, Macaroni.
Yeah. How did Jackson miss out on celebrity boxing? They had to have called him, right?
Fair. I wonder if he's just not involved with those people anymore. Because remember, like there was that whole big scandal with the Facebook group, and so I thought that maybe Nick was canceled.
With the Facebook group.
Well, they're not Facebook. Sorry, the WhatsApp chat where they were all like saying unfavorable things, and I believe that maybe.
Yeah, but no. So you're saying that he was not included because that the Big Brother Boxing picked a side and they went with Nick Macaroni.
That's what I'm guessing.
Wow. Oh my God.
I was shocked though that he was part of that, because I was like, oh, like people care about him. Like, no, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about another interesting news item from this week with the Big Brother alumni. How about this one? This is a new show on Discovery. No, you watch anything on Discovery? This was quite a discovery.
Think so, but I might start now.
Okay, so I am a Discovery Plus subscriber. I do watch the 90 Day Fiance, and they do drop the episodes early for 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. And I do like to get the jump on that. A lot of stuff going on Sunday nights. So Discovery has a new show. Of course, they have the very popular franchise, which is called Naked and Afraid. Yes. Naked and Afraid is a popular show. It's been on for many years, and there are some spin-offs, including a brand new show which is premiering this weekend on Discovery and Discovery Plus. It's called Naked and Afraid of Love. And there was a cast drop on Twitter this week, and there was a face that looks somewhat familiar to Big Brother fans. Here he is, according to the Discovery Twitter account. Meet David. He's a 33-year-old surf instructor from San Diego, California. He describes himself as a mellow guy with a bit of a Peter Pan complex who lives with his mom. David is ready to ride this experience out like a wave and see what happens. And the question is, many Big Brother fans are wondering, is this BB23 alum David Girton?
I say yes. I think it's him. Wasn't he out first? Like, I just barely remember him.
Hey, look, as Travis once said, when you're a white guy with abs, it's a curse.
Is this who he was talking about? Is this the guy?
I think that he would be one of the few. I mean, unless he's being like super favorable to Cameron,
I don't know if I'd consider as a white guy with abs personally.
Jace, was that a guy? The Jace BB17?
Okay, on a return.
So there's been a couple.
I just didn't even realize it was like, oh, that's a thing. Okay. So maybe he's channeling David. They didn't show season 15. They wouldn't have.
No, definitely not. I think was he showmancing with Aaron in the first week? I think that was part of the reason why he had to go, was I think he had was showmancing.
I mean, that makes sense. I barely remember that season, but I remember thinking like, okay, who cares about this guy? He's got to go. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we are going to get an opportunity to see him naked searching for love, or not, or avoiding love, I don't know if I need to see it. I'm not sure.
Yes. Naked and Afraid of Dating. Chantelle, does this sound like a show you might be interested in?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm very, very interested in checking this out. I might have to start the podcast coverage.
I think that you should, because I've never really been down this Naked and Afraid series or franchise.
Yeah.
And I love The Bachelor, Bachelorette. I watched all of F-Boy Island. That was pretty good, decent.
Yes.
I watched
I started
X
watching
on
that the other night.
Beach. Like
Yeah.
all these things are just so messy that I want to see. Do they get even messier when they're naked? Like what? Like
I think so.
what's,
So,
what's the
yeah.
add here?
Discovery calls this the Naked and Afraid dating show you've been waiting for is coming. This is their official press release. It is possible to survive on a desert island. And is it possible to survive on a deserted island and find love? We're about to find out when Naked and Afraid of Love premieres on Discovery. In normal dating, we can be easily distracted by clothes, fancy cars, selfie filters. What happens when we take it all away? Maybe we could fall in love with someone for who they really are. Chantelle, I guess you could say Naked is truly unfiltered. Yeah. Hashtag no filter is when you're naked.
Hashtag no filter. Absolutely. I'm just wondering though, with this island element of it, like, are they going to be like camping naked? Like how dirty are they going to be naked? I just are they going to be like, whittling wood together naked?
Oh.
Like, I'm just trying to picture all these things that they're going to be doing in the woods or in the jungle naked.
8 single men and 8 single women attempt to find true love while working together and surviving the elements. Sarah in the chat says, hopefully we get a filter.
We'll get a black box, I'm sure.
Yeah. Maximus' mom says he could cut his hair and weave it into a shirt, at least a loincloth.
Well, yeah, maybe that's going to be part like a date, they go on a date and be like, ooh, let's like adorn each other.
Yeah.
I'm actually very interested in this show.
Yeah. Join the conversation using hashtag Naked and Afraid and follow Discovery on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok for more news on the upcoming series.
I'm following now. Like this is my new obsession. I might have to watch now all the old seasons just so I can understand what the format is.
Well, this is the first season of Naked and Afraid of Love. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is like a Rock of Love type of like Naked and Afraid of Love.
Well, I don't think it's going to be like Rock of Love because they were in a home, like they were in or on like a
trailer,
tour bus.
Tour bus.
So I don't think it's going to be like that. I feel like it's going to be more like Survivor with like dates. Like that's what I'm picturing. Like they're going to be outdoors, like doing like winning opportunities to go on dates, but naked. That's what I'm picturing here.
Yeah. What if you're not a good kisser? Do you think that will be a cause for elimination?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Going back to one other Big Brother 23 person who's outside of the house. This was an interesting one. This came to us from about Whitney Williams back on Twitter. She says, I'm thinking about having t-shirts made to support all of the contestants, i.e. hashtag team Derek X, hashtag team Hannah, hashtag team Melissa, etc. And adding a quote that they're known for. Then proceeds would be sent to them once they're out of the house. What would each contestant's quote be?
Oh my God.
Example, she says, mine could be, I want nothing to do with you, or play smarter. Alyssa could be, I'm a girly girl. Share this and help me think of ideas. Should I retweet?
Yes, retweet it. Share something with her.
Well, let's brainstorm a little bit. First off, okay, is Whitney's t-shirt I want nothing to do with you? Is that her catchphrase?
Yeah, who did she say that to?
I'm presuming Brent.
I don't remember this. So the fact that it's her catchphrase, I think, is really interesting. I'm like, I feel like you said many other combinations of words, and I've never heard you put those ones together.
No. Also, play smarter. Is that one of Whitney's catchphrases?
Not that I've heard. But maybe she's in the diary room and she's saying these catchphrases and like she thinks that she's like, kind of like how Kat Dunn had her whole like bitches conspiring against me. Like maybe she's
but she said that on the show. Like maybe imagine you had a t-shirt that said play smarter. Like, what?
I'd be like,
Chantal, what is that shirt? Like, oh, it's Team Whitney.
no, I would not be able to guess it. Sorry, Whitney, if that is something that you're trying to, push for yourself, but I don't see it.
Yeah. And then also, she adds one other that she said everyone could decide whether they can't to everyone could decide whether they can't to keep the money or donate to their favorite charity. I just don't want to make that decision for them. Okay. So imagine you came out of the house and Whitney is like, hey, Chantelle, great news. I made $37 for you in t-shirt. So do you want to keep that money or do you want to donate it to charity?
Well, I feel like you would be obligated to donate it to charity because it's just like a weird position being like, sorry, I'm going to keep this money. Like, I think you'd have to give it to charity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody's going to be like Sarah Beth, like, I'm going to keep the $37. Don't take my money.
Yeah, no, you'd have to give it to charity, especially since they have nothing to do with it. And just be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you, fans, so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to donate it maybe to a charity of the fans' choice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if anybody has ideas for Whitney and her t-shirts, please let her know.
I can't even think of anybody else's catchphrases. Like,
okay. Well, you talk about the people that are still in the house?
Yeah.
That have any catchphrases?
Does anybody have one?
Well, I feel like that Derek X could go all in on the porcelain throne.
That's true. That works.
The Lord of the Latrine. I think that would be fine.
Yeah. Hashtag Lord of the Latrine. That would work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do think that Brittany has a few that she could go with. That I've noticed that her catchphrase, I don't know how many times we'll hear her say it now, is she gives us a lot of heck yeah, man.
Yeah, man. She's so much energy in that diary room.
Yeah, this is her catchphrase.
Yeah, man. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. So, she could have a few t-shirt variations, like hashtag okay, hashtag cool, hashtag yeah, man. Which one would you buy?
Yeah, man. Okay. Any other catchphrases that we're working off of this season? Brent, I have something cooking in my mental.
That's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I
not been a catchphrase heavy season.
No, like nobody's like being like, I'm coming to get you. Like there's none of that. Has Tiffany said anything? I feel like she could have maybe said something.
Does she have a catchphrase though?
No, nobody does.
No catchphrases yet. So go back to the drawing board.
Maybe we should revisit this at the end of the season and see if we can help her with her t-shirt business.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? This is one from Rockstar real quick, as we were talking about naked and afraid of dating. Rockstar, who recently participated in the celebrity boxing, she has an idea. She always Angie Rockstar famously never has had a bad idea.
I don't know if I can agree with that, but she definitely I know this idea and that she's suggesting here, and I'm for it. I'm into it.
This was Rockstar the other day. She had a tweet that said, "Dear any network anywhere," I feel like there should be some commas or something. "Dear any network anywhere, combine all reality alumni from all shows, Drag Race, BB, Top Chef, The Circle, Survivor, Wife Swap, whatever. Stick us in an old town village in America. Tell us to work together and make it sustainable. Film it and see what happens. TV magic, that's what."
I mean, It's a good idea. It's a good idea with the having multiple, types of reality show contestants, because they're all going to be on these shows because they have a great personality to a certain extent, or they're very funny, or there's something about them. So bringing them from different shows, it would definitely bring audiences from different parts of the reality TV world, and putting them and to make them having a sustainable environment. I think that's very interesting.
Mhm.
I'd watch
Yes.
it. Would you watch it? Yeah, I think you would.
Chantelle, did you watch Utopia?
I feel like I've seen one episode. I know my mom and my brother were like, "You have to watch this. You have to watch this." And like, I don't know
Yeah.
if I ever finished watching
Yeah.
it, but it's on when it's like in the back of my mind, like, "Oh yeah, that's something I have to watch."
Yeah. What on earth makes Angie Rockstar think that people from these reality shows could run anything?
Well, I mean, some of them people would be pretty good. Like if you had anybody from
Maybe
Project
the Top
Runway,
Chef people. They
Top
seem like they
Chef.
work in a restaurant.
Well, have you watched Top Chef? And like each season, they always have restaurant wars, so they kind of had to put together their own restaurant, and so that could be part of like building a sustainable community. If somebody was from Project Runway, they might be able to make clothes and stuff like that. So you'd be able to use some people's skills to be
Perhaps.
able to.
But do the people from the circle, like, what are they going to run the social media accounts? Like, not everybody has a usable skill set. The people from Wife Swap.
I didn't. She lost me at Wife Swap because I was like, maybe not that particular show. I like the idea of a drag race. I think that would be interesting and fun.
Sure. They would bring something to the town to entertain us. She goes on to say, also, we'd be doing something productive for small town USA. So there's that. After the show, people could move in. Come on, this is a great idea. I can tell you from Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast, when you have to open or close with this is a great idea, I feel like it tends to not be a great idea.
I mean, she has a decent idea. I think there's something in there, but the pitch isn't at it. It's where it should be. Like she needs to work on the pitch. Bring me into the world.
This is not a good idea. You're being too nice. This is
you would watch this show.
They don't need to have an island of the misfit toys for all of the reality stars to go to. And if they did, it would not be a model town USA that anybody could use after. It would be that if you had like a hotel that it was like, boy, we need to just demolition this hotel. I got it. Let all of the reality people move in. We could save all the money. We don't need to have a wrecking ball come through here. The reality people will just destroy it from the inside out.
Well, what if then, to work on her idea a little bit, what if it's kind of like The Apprentice type deal where they had all these like...
No, you lost me.
These like challenges though that they needed to work together to like build certain things. So if it's like, they have to create a store, they have to create a, restaurant, like it could start building different areas of this town, build it up, and then it could be livable. Or if you just went completely in another direction, would just like
also get the people from Tough as Nails.
There you go. Like just build a community with these misfits from reality TV.
Yes. What do you think the government of this town is like? Is it sort of like a United Nations?
Would it be like Shoopy from the circle? Shoopy,
no, he's the leader.
Yes.
I was gonna say, is there like one delegate from each of the shows that represents each franchise in the town government?
I mean, it could work.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Each show has somebody that's willing to speak on their behalf. Maybe that's somebody that gets nominated each week or whatever to represent. And if their portion of the activities fail, they're kicked out of the town.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So it's entertainment and government.
It could be. I definitely would have to workshop this, but I do think she has a nugget of a good idea here.
Okay. All right. Angie Rockstar is onto something. All right. Not sure if she's running for political office, but let's see. Maybe that's going to be next. She's going to pivot from celebrity boxing to maybe running for local office.
Exactly. And especially because she lost to a Canadian, like maybe this is like her, becoming a little bit more like Switzerland, very like laissez-faire, easygoing. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Okay. Chantelle, something that we talked about pre-show was the idea that, of course, that you are very tapped into all things astrology and that you have done in the past some readings on the Big Brother house guests. And as we're now approaching the midway point of the season, we're getting to the point where it looks like the cookout is in a very favorable position for the back half of the game, that I thought it would be fun if we chatted a little bit about what you think might happen, not based on necessarily the strategic positioning, but based on what you're able to tell us about the house guests themselves.
Absolutely. People's sun sign is what we're really familiar with. So everybody's like, oh, I know when I was born, like the day I was born, and I know what sign I am usually. And so that doesn't really tell you that much. So this is a very broad, look at how these people could be interacting elementally. So each sign it falls into one of the 4 elements. So if you're, say, a Leo, that's going to be fire. And so there's the 4 elements that they all kind of interact with. And so usually fire and fire work well together. Fire and air work really well together. And then earth and water work really well together, or on their own, like water and earth and earth. And so when I'm looking at, we'll say the cookout, if we just look at those who we are assuming are going to be the final 6, we have Derek F. He's a Scorpio. So Scorpio is water.
He's
Tiffany,
such a Scorpio, right?
He kind of is, because one of the traits of a Scorpio is that because they're a water sign, they're going to be emotional, but they don't want to be done wrong. So usually, you see the scorpion tail will come out and snap at you, because if they get offended emotionally, they're going to clap back and kind of attack. So that's kind of what can be a trait of a Scorpio. And so Tiffany's a Leo. So Leo's ruled by the sun. That's a fire sign. So fire and water, if you think about that elementally, they don't really go well together. Fire makes water boil. So they don't really go great together elementally. And if you put water onto fire, you're going to put out fire. So they're just not going to get along too well together. So we have Hannah.
Like this is like at the crux of what's going on between them.
Exactly. So we have Hannah. Actually, we'll talk about Azza. So Azza is a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is like one of the most expansive signs in the zodiac, but it's also a fire sign. And they also really like being kind of the center of attention. And so does Leo, ruled by the sun. So we've got the sun versus Jupiter in Azza and Tiffany. They're kind of both competing to be in the spotlight, to be the most powerful, to be the biggest flame. When they could really work together and work together well, and like the 2 fire energies coming together, but right now they're competing against each other. So with Hannah, so Hannah's a Taurus, which is an earth sign. They're usually pretty grounded. They can be talkative. They're like a sensual sign. They like eating and food, and we can see that Hannah's always eating food of some sort. Xavier is also a Taurus. And Kylan is a Cancer. So Cancer is a water sign. So my immediate prediction is that because there's this friction with Azza and Tiffany with fire, I think that they might end up canceling each other out. So I think that Tiffany might be the first to go out of the 6, just because fire, they were going to get rid of the fire, and then maybe Azza right after. And then it's going to be just water and earth that are playing together, and they just get along elementally a lot better. So if that's the case, I would think that maybe an Xavier Hannah combo might get to the end, because they're both Taurus. They kind of will understand each other and maybe be able to work together.
Xavier Hannah.
That's kind of what I'm feeling, because Hannah is not really coming across as somebody that's super in your face. She's very she gets her point across, but she's not being too out there with what her opinions are and what she wants to have happen. But she's a Taurus, so it's an earth sign, and then Xavier is also a Taurus and an earth sign. I just think that they're going to be able to kind of let everybody fight and just kind of be there in the end to be able to sit in the final 2 chairs.
Okay, so that's the prediction.
So the prediction is, Tiffany, Azza, then probably Derek F, unless people want to drag him to the end, which I really hope doesn't happen. And then Kylan, just because he's just a bit of an outsider with, Hannah and Xavier in this kind of elemental world, I think he'd be next. Then maybe Derek F, and that Hannah and Xavier might be the final 2.
Okay, and then are you able to make a call between Hannah and Xavier?
Ooh, who's in the jury? I think.
So now you're counting the votes, or
I'm counting the votes, because
Okay.
I could look at the signs. I didn't look at everybody's sign that's still left in the house. So we got Derek X is a Pisces, which is water. I think Derek X is going to do Hannah no matter what. Claire is an air sign. She's Gemini. I think she would go for female, though. but she does have a mini crush on Xavier, so that could maybe sway her. But I could see her. She's been working with Hannah, especially this week. I think that she would maybe give Hannah her vote. Who else is left here that would be out? So Tiffany, obviously, I think would choose Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we just get her 5 votes. Brittany.
Yeah.
Also air. I think she would go female because Xavier wrote her, put her on
Derek
the block.
X. Sure.
Derek X is already here. So that's Hannah. Maybe one more vote for her. That's 4 votes already. Okay, so Derek F, he wouldn't be there, so I don't think that he would vote for Hannah because he seems like a bit anti-woman a little bit. And then
Azza's not a huge fan. Yeah.
Well, it's her schoolboy or high school crush or grade school crush.
Yeah.
So she would do Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do we have left?
Kylan. So Sarah Beth,
I think she would go. Oh, it's Hannah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 5. It would be 5-4.
It'll be exciting. It'll be exciting.
That would be exciting. So this is just like basic looking at their sun sign. I mean, everybody has like hundreds of different permutations that you could look at to see what could actually specifically happen if you kind of lay people's charts on top of each other. But if I just look basically, elementally, and not including any competitions and anybody else that's actually still playing the game, that's kind of how I would see it go.
Chantelle, this is cookout analysis that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Never. Nowhere else. Only right here when we get sloppy.
Do you feel like that Derek X or Claire, have you looked at them? Do they have a shot?
Okay, well, if I'm looking at, like, Claire has a shot. I haven't pulled any cards for Claire. And I think that just because she's a Gemini and she's with Tiffany, she does have a shot. But the fact that it's the whole cookout, unless they win power and take out a cookout member, I don't think anybody that's outside of the cookout really has a shot. Every week that goes by that somebody from the cookout does not leave, their chances of potentially winning really keep dwindling. So they have to take out a cookout member in order for them to have a shot. But Claire, if a cookout member leaves, then I think that Tiffany might feel a little bit better about not feeling the need to get the full 6 to the end. And then I could very easily see a Claire Tiffany final 2 because she will just have a little bit more power with, like, Tiffany is a fire sign and Claire is an air sign. They work amazing together. And so they'll be able to, I think, really control and dominate the house. But the fact that Tiffany is taking care of the cookout is going to be damaging for Claire and Derek X game.
Okay. Chantelle, anything else sloppy you want to talk about tonight?
Sloppy? No.
Not
actually,
sloppy?
Sorry. We didn't really touch on it, but it was a rumor. So I don't know if it was true or not. But I heard on another podcast that potentially the reason why Christy was asked to leave the game and Claire came in was that Claire was the person, the house guest that they wanted originally, and that her schedule didn't line up. And so she was able to fix her schedule and they wanted to have Claire. And so they let Christy exit the house. So that's a rumor. I don't know if there's any truth whatsoever, but I thought that was interesting.
Well, all right. So let's just like couch this and say, okay, allegedly, this was something that was said on a different podcast.
Correct.
That we're just talking about. So do you think that did CBS tell I don't want to say this. Did they tell her she had COVID and then she didn't?
Well, this is why I was just like, that just seems
Christy say she had COVID to save face?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, right? Because
Allegedly.
She's been very active on social media, being like, she only said like, "Oh, I came home and I tested and I'm negative," and like, so she's giving us all this information. So we don't really know if that is the reason what they gave her to be like, "Hey, you're not going to be part of this cast anymore." So I don't know where the truth is at all, but we were all wondering why Claire was the alternate, because she seems like somebody that would be, you know, the front runner to be on this particular season. So it's definitely allegedly, but I thought it was very interesting
Yeah.
that this is what's being speculated.
Well, has Claire said on the live feeds that, oh, I couldn't, that they called me and I said I couldn't do it, but then I cleared my schedule and then I was able to
I don't
make
think
it?
she'd be allowed to say that, would she?
I mean, why not?
No talk about production? I
I
don't know.
guess. Well, we'll find out when she gets out.
Well, unless she's final two, right?
Mhm. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, when she gets out, she'll, hopefully, somebody will ask her that question.
Absolutely.
And then Christy can favorite the tweet.
Being like, yeah, they wanted me more than they wanted Christy.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chantelle, this was fantastic. So much fun to go through all this very sloppy week.
It's so sloppy.
Mhm.
Definitely enjoy taking a look at these house guests in a way that's less like strictly strategy and strictly like, what's
We
really
got
going
out of
on
the
in the house.
box.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a little loose. It's a little fun. It's a little sloppy. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Naked and Afraid of Love in podcasting. Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Chantelle, I know that you are a very busy YouTuber
Yes.
and streamer. Where can people check out what you're doing?
Definitely streaming a lot. Today was the last day that we did a live stream for Love Island USA.
You love
So
Love Island.
it started off great and then it ended.
Petered out.
Didn't end really well.
Was it too long, Chantelle? Was it 6 weeks too long for Love
I
Island?
think it was too short, and I
Too
think that
short.
they didn't bring in the right people at the right time. They allowed certain people to leave when they should have. They were the stars of the show. And right now, what's happening is everybody's on Instagram's live stories with all the people that we like that was on the show. And we're not
IG
watching
Live,
the show
yeah.
anymore.
That's why we need our IG Live correspondent, just watching the Instagram lives all day.
I mean, that's a good position. That's kind of fun because what they're doing right now with Love Island, it's super fun watching our favorite our Islanders interact.
Yeah.
So definitely been covering that, but still have a couple weeks to go with Love Island UK that we go live on my YouTube channel, Reality Realness with 3 S's.
You are dedicated. You go live after Love Island UK.
Both. I did both.
Oh my
this whole
God.
time. I don't even know why, but the people asked me and I couldn't let them down. So I said, yes, I will do both of them for you every day. But
You
one's
weren't
done.
like, let me live.
Right? Just let me live. No, I'm good. It's definitely fun. And the challenge has started, which is my other great love. So doing the challenge, hanging out with Sarah on Saturday from Nerdtainment, doing Survivor South Africa. So a lot of, reality TV content's coming out of me every week.
Yeah. Well, Chantelle, you're super busy. I'm going to keep that Jackson quote on hand for next time there's too much going on. Let me live.
Let me live. Let me live. / so I would love dibs on Naked and Afraid of Love.
Yeah.
So
Or I have to ask the First Lady of Podcasting if that might be up her alley.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to watch that too.
Yeah. On the Discovery Plus. Go check that out. Okay. And thank you everybody so much for joining us here tonight for the Slop. Lots more Big Brother coming up this week. Of course, Stock Watch coming up on Tuesday. We'll be live after the episodes Wednesday and Thursday this week, followed by the BB Q&A for the patrons on Friday. Then tomorrow night, I am going to be together with Brian Scally and Kirsten McInnes to talk about the 5th best Survivor season of all time, Survivor China.
Ding.
Yep, there you go. All right, so we got that coming up tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching The Slop. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.